Gonna make it work. Our unions make it work. The Union View. Hello, welcome to the, was actually unlawful. Mm-hmm. And so this is kind of like basically buying some time. Mm-hmm. You live to fight another day. But I'm very happy that there's some fight back on this issue because unions are necessary.
Well, I'm happy for one reason, main reason. Before there were unions, and in Europe it was called trade union, mm-hmm. There was a novel about Silas Marner. That's a classical English thing. It talked about child labor. Mm. So if we didn't have unions, we could potentially be going back to child labor. Mm-hmm. And child labor do exist in some of the Asian countries where mm-hmm. you have very young children working in factories for long hours. Mm-hmm. And they had these young children working in long hours because they had more endurance than the adults. Wow. So with an adult, they might work the adult maybe 10 hours. With a young child can work up to 14 or 16 hours. Wow. And they didn't have to pay the child a lot of money. Mm. They could pay them very little because that child virtually was there to try to bring in additional money into the family. Right, they weren't the main breadwinner. They weren't the main breadwinners. Mm-hmm. And we could very well go back to child labor. Right, without unions. You're absolutely right. And that's a good point, Carolyn, because if somebody can just so haphazardly decide that, okay, yes, public sector union members and workers in Wisconsin, we understand that you have made concessions and you have agreed to the wage concessions. They agreed to, I believe, even the paying into their health care as a concession. But that wasn't good enough for Governor Walker. He decided, no, even though you have agreed to those concessions, because I'm sure he never expected them to agree to it, but they did agree to it in order to make sure that they maintain their positions. He said, no, I'm still stripping the collective bargaining rights. Now, who knows, next year, he might decide, as Carolyn just said. Now, there are child labor laws that's in effect. What if he decides that he wants to strip you of that too? Strip the state of Wisconsin, or if some other governor decides they want to strip whatever state, maybe the state of New York, God forbid, of the child labor laws, that they no longer, exist or no longer maybe they want to pay women less than men. That's right. Well, women already are paid less than men. Yeah, but you want to take more there. Yes, but you know what? And it could get worse. It could very well get worse.
I just want to say that a couple of years back, I did the health care reform in South Bend, Indiana. Mm-hmm. And I was very much surprised and saddened when I went out and I got in contact with a lot of the seniors there in South Bend. And most of them don't have unions. They get Social Security and that's it. And they don't have medical coverage. So you would see a lot of the seniors with no dentals. Wow. In South Bend. Oh. This was a known fact.
South Bend?
Indiana.
Indiana?
Yes, okay. Right. This was a known fact. And we are so fortunate that we have a union, we have dental coverage, and we're the lucky ones. Yes. But it's so many others. It's unfortunate. So your union, I am very glad for my union. Yes. Happy for it. And for it, I can see, and thank goodness, I hope it just go from state to state. Right. Every state be unionized. Right. That's right. That's right. I tell you, we got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. Yes. And at this time, what's happened with the fights that are going on now, Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio, all this stuff, all it's doing is just kind of waking the union up. The union needs to, be on the ready. And we should have been out since like yesterday.
but better late than never.
Yes.
And I think that this issue that has come up now, where states are, from state to state, are electing to try to just strip the unions of their collective bargaining rights, has wakened the union up to the place where now all hands have to be on deck.
Yes.
And so unions can no
Yes.
longer function and operate in silos, where you have the teachers union, and you have the firemen's union, you have the policemen's union, you have the healthcare workers unions. We have all these little corners that we're in. And so if we're divided, we're really diminishing the power that you have
Yes.
as to speak in one voice. So I would say that this is a call to action. This is a definite call to action for us as union workers, as retired union members. And I thank you so much, Carolyn, Ms. Vickey, for coming on the show as retirees and so active. And Carolyn, we used to be, working together in the shop, and Carolyn in the one department and me in another. But when it came down to our delegate meetings and our delegate work, we spoke with one voice,
Exactly.
and that's what we need to do. We need to learn to speak with one voice as a union movement.
Yes.
That we would be able to come together as one and stand for the rights of workers everywhere, and not just in the United States of America, because Carolyn, as you mentioned, in other countries,
yes.
people, in France and I believe in was it Australia or was it France? The latest
France.
fight. It was France.
France.
Okay, where the workers are fighting about their pensions, and their retiring ages have been They're trying to adjust their retirement age. Where now I think they're changing the time to early retirement to be 62
They want to change the early retirement to
67.
to 67.
67, I believe.
Right, and that right now is 62. What do we have? Like early retirement is 65? So each nation, each country has a different standard, but we have to make sure that we speak in one voice.
Right. But in France, when I went to a conference in San Francisco, I met some of the delegates in France. With their unions, it's a union.
Right.
When the union goes on strike, the whole country
shuts down. Shut it down. And you know what? And that's the whole
Yes.
purpose of coming together as one voice.
Yes.
What do you want? Contract. When do you want it?
Now.
Right. If we don't get it, shut it down.
Yes.
So that has to be the motto. And we're going to get together again, and we're going to continue this conversation and continue to talk about why unions are necessary.
Right.
And why unions are necessary, especially for retirees. And you guys are the most active retirees that I have seen ever, beside my dad, But I really thank you for coming to the show, and, I look forward to doing this real soon.
Okay.
Well, I want to thank my listeners and those who are watching us on the Union View. Thank you for watching the Union View, and the Union View airs on every third Thursday at 6:30 p.m. on BronxNet Channel 70. You can also see us on BronxNet.org, and you just click on Channel 70. Thank you for watching the Union View.
Work, go make it work. Unions make it work. Work, go make it work. Our unions make it work.
The Union View, the Union View.
Go make it work. Unions make it work.
The Union View, the Union View.
Go make it work. Our unions make it work.
The Union View, the Union View.
Work, go make it